I'm sorry I've been away for a week and a half and I haven't been on live. It's just that I've had some time with the family and it's been wonderful. I finally got to meet my niece for the first time. So, just in reflecting, because I'm always a deep thinker, and I've just been thinking a lot about healing lately. And I've had a few experiences with some old friends when I was back in Newcastle, and it was exciting to catch up with them and just to sort of reunite that friendship. Because, with friendships, it doesn't matter how far with time and space, they're always there, and it's always nice to see how they have developed and myself has developed, and you can see the growth that has happened for all of us. Sorry, you can get everything in the microphone. I'll just let this aeroplane go by at the moment. There's also birds in the background, so it might be a little bit noisy. Sorry, guys. Okay, so what has been on my mind lately, and I'm doing some shadow work myself, is healing can happen at any time. You can't force this healing to happen. You can feel this feeling coming up. You'll have great instincts when it needs to be embraced. But you can't just wake up and just say, I'm better the next day. You can't always have a facade of being happy all the time and just burying things down. And I know sometimes that there's a big push for that to happen, but I am a big believer that what is happening to you at this point in time, or what's coming up for you in this point in time, is important for your next step in growth. And you have to remember your shadow self is a well of wisdom. And the shadow self to me is your hidden self, the stuff that you do not want to acknowledge about yourself at this time. It's that part of you that is kind of hidden, or maybe something that you're not aware of, or sometimes when you're ashamed of it or not feeling comfortable with it, or sometimes it brings up guilt. To me, this is all your shadow stuff, but I don't think that's a bad place. I think the expectations that we put on our shadow self is the bad place, not the actual feeling of being in that space. Hi, Roxy. Thank you for joining me today. So, to me, I think the healing can happen anytime. And I had a really, really deep talk to one of my friends that I always felt a great security with and great support with. And she's one of the strongest people I know. But she's been going to counseling lately, and a lot of things have come up for her that she never realized was true for her. And I think she's much older than me. She's in her 60s. And she thought for her that she would have it all sorted out, that everything would be okay. And she's had a great life, but something has just been nipping her at the butt and telling her that she needed to get help. And now that she's opened this big well of experiences that she's been sort of kept down in her shadow self for a long time, she's getting a new awakening of her own strengths, her own powers, and also going through the emotions of, what about me? Why has this happened to me? What has happened to me? What is truth for me? And this is the pain that abruptly hits you, or the stories or the truth that abruptly hits you. And you have to go through that healing journey for it to resolve. And sometimes it's hard to do alone because it makes you realize that there's a new element to your life, a new awakening to your life, a new voice in your life that needs to be addressed, because our past traumas, especially when we're young, before 8 years old, is interpreted completely different to when we're an adult. And this was so traumatic to her that it just shifted her whole life. And then when you reason and just try to justify it, it doesn't work that way, because the voice is there. And when you try to reason and justify it, you're not really listening to your true self or listening to the wisdom that's coming through. So I'm just explaining the journey of healing things. And sometimes, yes, you can brush it off and just heal those surface layers easy and just say, hey, yeah, that happened. It's okay. Move along. But usually, with a deep healing, especially from childhood, it has so many different layers that need to be explored through respect and reverence. I think healing and going through that journey, there's a certain type of reverence with that. And it needs to be honored. And I know not everyone looks at it that way. A lot of people don't even want to touch the surface of their shadow self. But I think if you have that confidence to just really respect that reverence in yourself and just say, hey, I'm going on a journey with my inner self. I'm going on a journey with my inner child. I'm going on a journey with my higher self to realize what these traumas mean to me and realize how they have impacted my life and realize what stories they have created for me. And through this journey, hopefully at the end, you'll own it and respect yourself and honor yourself with love, because it's something I've had to go on my own journeys, because I was left home when I was 14. I was abused as a child. You know, sometimes I still get hurt. I still get that arrogance about me that says, oh, why has this happened to me? But then when I reflect back to my higher self and really see myself and really see that inner child within myself, there's a great love and contemplation there, and it really shines through my strengths. And I see that within myself when I look past my arrogance of what's happened to me and look past the arrogance of learning to dislike people or hate people or putting people in categories, because I really see us all as balls of light. And each of us have our own stories, and each of us, these stories push us in all different directions. And sometimes people get the message to start the healing journey quite young, but sometimes the message comes through quite later in life, and the healing message comes through then. And I really believe it comes with confidence, feeling safe, and feeling secure within yourself. And I believe the best platform to create these healing journeys, no matter how old you are, where you are in life, or what's going on, is come with the ultimate respect for yourself and the deepest love for yourself. And when you find that within yourself, and when you find that respect and that honor and that reverence for yourself, and allow yourself just to be and allow yourself to just reflect who you are, good, bad, ugly, no judgment, beautiful, lovely, no judgment, it doesn't matter. They're just titles. But just actually really see your ball of light, honor it and hold it and nurture it. Once you've reached that stage, how much you can impact people. Because when you learn to see that in yourself, that ball of light just grows and grows. And even just moving in light or traveling through light, you'll attract those opportunities, experiences, people to you that need that energy, that need that light. And this is how I believe you flow naturally through life. And this comes with learning to accept yourself, learning to accept your journeys, your healing journeys, your happy journeys, your family journeys, your historic journeys, your ancestral journeys. We all have little, I guess I see them, little strings to pass that we could possibly lead in life. And this begins with our emotions and our energy and how we feel about ourselves and what's happening around us. And if we're still holding down those healing journeys and not really acknowledging those shadow selves, we're just going to deny the strings of life that sort of lead us to a greater aspect of self, a greater awareness of self, to get the better opportunities to spiritually grow. But because we're living in this fear, we mustn't be this person, we don't deserve that strings that's going to lead us to positive. We'll only follow these strings that keep us safe, follow these strings that keep us secure, follow these strings that are probably mediocre for you. So everything begins with our emotions and how we feel about ourselves. And then once we heal those and learn to accept the things that come up to us when we're going to probably these more positive strings, because the more that we want to grow, the more the shadow self probably appears to you. And as I said, the healing is layering. It's, you can always just work on the surface self and you can get through life through that. And that's fine. That's perfectly fine. But if you want to have a deeper life and a deeper awareness of yourself, dealing with these layers and layers and layers when they come up to you without fear is a good way of just getting abundance in your life and really seeing yourself as a powerful and beautiful being. Because we are all this. It's just those decisions that we make with our healing journey when our emotions come up and our feelings surface is the difference between going down a path leading with fear or going down a path leading with joy, abundance, and love. It's really our choice. And what is so upsetting for me just growing up is that we're not really taught this intelligence of how to deal with things as they come up. We're being told we should stuff it down, we should just bite it, and we've given our intellectual capacity or our physical capacity more power, and we've made, I guess, in a way, I don't know, the words that came up is the history of drones. I don't know why that came up, but that's what came through. I don't think we're drones, but you know, how often do we just crave to be just beautiful, intelligent, even though we already are, but we chase it instead of just realizing it's already a part of us. And that's why I think the drones came, is because we chase these things and it's already a part of us and we don't really need to reflect outside ourselves. But if we come back to honoring our emotions and our feelings, these things can shift and we'll start seeing how smart we are, how clever we are, how brilliant we are, how confident we are, and even how courageous we are. And everyone has always told me how courageous I was, but I just feel like I've always accepted I wanted the best for myself. And I've always accepted that to have the best of myself, I need to actually climb some of these mountains and go down these mountains, climb some of these mountains, come down these mountains, mountains, emotions, whatever, same thing. And these feelings and messages that come through is a part of our intuitions. As I said, we are not our feelings, but they are the messages of our intuitions. So you don't put yourself on a label of being depressed, anxious. Those are just parts of you that are telling you something's not right. Something's not right for you in this place. And instead of coming back, shoving it down, or just accepting what is in your life, you just really address them and just say, what are you trying to tell me? What has happened to me? Why it has brought me to this place? And this happens quite often to me. And sometimes I feel like the journey with my dad and I is healed, especially now he's passed away. But sometimes that little part comes back to me where I've been feeling hurt, upset, taken advantage of. But still, instead of pushing away and just say, hey, it's over, dad's gone now, I come back and say, hey, what's that lesson me and my father could have learnt together? Or what did I want to achieve through that lesson my dad has taught to me? And what have I actually achieved from that? And I think that lesson has shown me my strength and always showed me my courage. And it's made me a hell of a better person because I have empathy for people. Instead of pushing people away that are in pain, I know how to open up and embrace them without fear, because their pain is my pain, and I understand that because I've been down that road, and I know that there is an opportunity to heal there and an opportunity for that person to heal there, and that is the beauty that I can bring to that relationship. So I feel, because of those woundings of me and my father, I feel like I can bring a lot more to my current relationships. So I don't see it as a negative thing, even if my healing is probably not complete there. But as I said, through the different layers and layers and layers, there is an opportunity for wisdom as well. I just feel that sometimes we are just too hard on myself, and I think that's why I've come here today. We feel like we should know everything now. We should be good now. We're adults now, that everything should be falling into place. Everything should have its place. Everything should be on the shelves. Everything should have a category. And it's unkept to be messy. That's how it happens. Like when your not life is not what shows on TV, like a happy family or successful women, or there's so many categories of what success is in society. And if we're not reaching all of them, there's a part of us that feels a little bit messy or a little bit unacceptable. And come on, we're not gods. We're human beings. You could say that we're spiritual beings, but there is just so much to sort out in this world, and there's so much to sort out in ourselves. And sometimes the things that we can't reach now, you've got to think, is that really what you want? Is that really what you're after? Or are you just after the things that are already in your life now? Are you just after that little pond or that little garden that you've created for yourself? And just feel, are you content with that? Because sometimes, being successful is not what you want. Being a good mother is what you want, and that's fine. Being a good friend is what you want. That's fine too. Or resting and looking after your health, if that's what you want now, and that's fine too. And sometimes you just need to be present enough to accept the things that are happening for you now. Hi Tina, how are you? And to know if you want to go beyond what's happening to you now, just accept that you will have to take a new journey. And it has to be a journey of love. It's got to be a journey of opening yourself up to know that this is your path and the stuff that you actually really want. And this is where the healing starts, is going towards the things you want. And there will be things that say, hey, what about me? Hey, what about me? Hey, what about me? Hey, what about me? That come up inside of you. And to me, those hey, what about me is, oh, not good enough for this, or do I really accept this? Am I being selfish? La da 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 da. Those things that come up when you're doing something that you believe is so wonderful or so powerful. Those little voices of what about me? What about me? What about me? Or am I good enough for this? Do I deserve this? Blah, blah, blah. To me, they're just your inner child just saying, hey, I'm a little bit afraid, but if you're willing to hold me and support me, we will move forward together. And to me, I feel like I have an inner parent that I've developed over these years to help my inner child. And that's because I didn't have my own parents. So I had to sort of create this persona and learn how to nurture myself as a parent would. And sometimes I let my inner child just take over my inner parent, and my inner parent goes, but then it also gives me joy, because it's like, okay, so this is unstructured and it's a little bit messy, but it's really giving me joy and giving me a chance to play. So sometimes it's just like having children, looking after yourself and nurturing yourself as well. And I think sometimes we don't take the time to actually listen to these parts of ourselves that do bring us joy, that do bring us security, that do bring us different things. So this is what's coming through my spirit guides and through my feelings this week. And I just really wanted to share with you my thoughts on this. And I know I'm not going to just joke around and say this is all easy and all let's just close our eyes and just walk with it. Because yes, there are things that are coming up for everyone now, and there will always be things coming up. It's just having that reverence for yourself and that respect and that love for yourself to just say, hey, I'm here for you. And hey, let's get some help. Hey, let's work it out. And giving yourself the chance to work it out, and giving yourself that permission to feel. And I feel that that's when your healing journey really, really begins for the highest good, is giving yourself permission to say it's okay to heal. It's okay to feel this at this point in time. Anyway, I will let you go because I don't want these to be long, but they do end up being long because I think about these a lot. But thank you everyone that's been here with me on the live, and thank you everyone that takes some time to listen to this when I'm offline as well. I've also just decided that my calendars are going for $1 so if you was thinking about one but you weren't sure if it was really yours, it's $1 now, so that's like pocket change. And even if you just cut out my pictures and don't use it for the calendar, my prints go for $20, so it's going to be a bargain. So you get 12 prints for $1. So if you want to look at it that way, it's just that I want to clear out my room so I can start up new projects, and I have a habit of just really refreshing my life, and I just feel like I'm at that mode now before it gets to winter. And plus, in winter, because I live in Queensland, it does get a bit stuffy, so I like clearing things out in winter. And so thank you all for being a part of this. Love and light, Cassie. Bye.